G'day and welcome to the next episode of PSC TV. It's been a little bit slow here at PSC headquarters over the last couple of months because we've been so busy helping all the other centres reopen and get back into the swing of things after COVID. But a few months ago, we were at Action Indoor Sports Toombul and we got some of the superstars of the game of indoor cricket in Australia and Queensland to come along and have a bit of a hit. For these guys, it was fantastic too because they hadn't been able to pick up a bat or a ball for 3 months. We were lucky enough to have Brenton Brien join us. We had him on board last week for a bit of an interview. We had Brendan Caust, Josh Drever, Jamie Stewart and a couple of our regulars, Stu James and also Harley Frisk. This week's episode, we are really focusing on some batting. It's a bit of a batting masterclass. We've got Brendan Caust out there having a bit of a bat. And we've also got Brenton Brien giving some advice as well. So stay tuned for this episode of PSC TV. We have plenty more content coming over the coming weeks as well. Okay, so we're going to have a bit of a bat here, and Brenton will get you to give some feedback to Causty as he goes. Yep. When your guys are training and practicing batting, what do you like to see out of them?
I think at any training session, the big thing for me is when we take the court to train, no matter what we're doing, batting, bowling, fielding, we're treating it like a game. So I don't want guys coming out onto the court for a training session, whether they're doing it on their own, or whether they're doing it in a team environment. You need to make sure that your mindset is that you're playing a game situation. So I don't want to see him playing loose shots and all that sort of stuff, or if he does, he's got to get out of that straight away and get back to playing sensible cricket. We've got a smart system in place where we want to be playing percentage cricket. I want to see him doing that when we're in training as well.
So, and what tips would you give to a batter? What are you looking for? What do you want to see them doing in training?
Yeah, look, I think just good foot movement, not getting their feet stuck, moving their foot to the ball, waiting for the ball to come to them. A lot of guys might get caught getting the bat out in front of them a little bit, so waiting for the ball to come to them. A lot of the great batsmen at the top level really wait for the ball to come right to them and hit the ball very late, and I think that's a really good thing to get into a good habit of when you're playing indoor cricket especially.
Yep, sure, all right. Well, we'll get someone to throw some balls down and you can give a bit of feedback as we go.
No worries.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
Let's go.
Okay. We on the right side?
Yeah, no, we're fine.
He hits a few here. We might get a few touches here.
Yeah, a few touches, all right. We're meant to be ready here.
I don't like it, but we might get a few touches. That's good.
You like that?
Keeping in mind that not a lot of these guys have hit too many balls over the last 3 months, so he might be a little bit rusty, but got a very good technique. Causty played his first nationals last year at open men's level and did extremely well. Forced his way into the top 8 just by really good consistency with the bat. Bowled really well as well. But being a left-handed bat as well in indoor cricket's a little bit of an advantage. We don't see too many of them, funnily enough. And I think we just had
got the cameraman
there. So yeah, we don't see too many of them, and I like having left-handers in the team because it really does throw the bowler's line out a little bit. Good shot. Yeah, nice. That's shot. Good. He's just waiting for the ball now. That's really good. Take him a few to get used to it. He hasn't hit too many balls of late.
He's probably lost his balance a little bit.
Yeah, took his eye off that one a little bit at the end there. Just didn't watch it all the way into his hat. That's better. Straight away, fixed it straight away, and that's what I'm talking about. You know, these guys, just because they play at the top level, it doesn't mean they make mistakes. They do make little mistakes. The good thing about these guys and why they get to the top is that they can rectify it very quickly. They can adjust their game to suit, you know, if the bowling's changed up or the bowling's a little bit quicker or the bowlers start to change their length or their line a little bit, they're good enough to adapt very quickly.
And yeah, he was a little scratchy earlier, but he's really improving. And it's just, again, it's just hitting more balls, I think.
Yeah, that's it. And it's not because he plays at the top level. It's because he works hard on his training. I know last year with Causty, when he made the side, he was working weekly. You know, working with Fitzy weekly and working on his game. And by the time he got to nationals, it was just muscle memory. You know, he's got the game. All the players at the top level have got the game. It's whether they can adapt in a pressure situation, and that's what makes the good players great. You know, that's a great shot. Well, he played that well, played it late. Oh, good. It's always good watching left-handers hit down-ups like that. It just seems, I don't know why, it seems a bit more eloquent than right-handers for some reason. I don't know why, but maybe because I wish I was one.
Possibly.
Maybe I'd be a bit better if I was. There we go. Got a shorter one there.
Bowling there, Stu.
Right there.
See, and there's a good example. That same ball, 2 balls in a row. First ball got through him. Second ball really got it out of the middle of the bat. And it wasn't the fact that he got it out of the middle of the bat and hit it for a down up how he would have wanted to, but he was quickly to adjust. And that's what I look for.
Yeah, and I think sometimes people get too carried away with where the ball actually goes. It's probably about trying to hit the middle of the bat.
Oh, that was close.
Yeah. Woo. And making good contact, you know. Like,
Yeah.
And if you're doing that more often than not, you're going to have that opportunity for the ball to go where you want it anyway.
Yeah, that's right. It's not as you say, it's not about how they hit the ball or where it actually goes. It's about the communication with their partner and being able to turn the strike. You know, think about this situation with Causty as a left-handed bat batting with a right-handed bat. If they're changing strike regularly, then the bowler's got to adjust his line a lot. So it's not that I'm looking for him to hit 2s every ball. I'm looking for him to get good contact on it, make a good solid call, and put pressure on the field. You know, that's what we want to see at this level.
And when you're training, do you like to see the batter calling?
Absolutely,
just to get into that good routine?
Yeah, I mean, normally in this sort of situation, when we're having throwdowns and that sort of thing, what I'd like to see is that every time he plays a shot, he's making a call, whether it's a yes or a no call. I mean, it's something that sort of got drilled into us when we were younger and by some of the coaches we've had at Masters level like that as well. I try and get the guys to do that as well, and it's all about what I was saying before about treating everything like game situation. You know, that's what you're going to do in a game, so why not practice that at practice?
Very good. Welcome, Causty.
Thanks for having me, Moggy.
It's good, mate. Just wanted to have a chat about a few things today. One thing with your career of indoor cricket, you've come through the junior program over the years. So would you like to elaborate on that a little bit for us?
Yeah. So obviously there's a bit of a pathway from the juniors leading up to the men's. So it all started. I made my first state team when I was 12. Played 14s, 16s. Under 18s, 20s, and then obviously there's a little bit of a gap when you play that last sort of aged junior cricket, and then was fortunate enough to make the open men's side and go away to Melbourne last year.
And that was obviously a pretty exciting time for you as well. First time playing for open men's and the Queensland team winning. So how did you feel about that?
Yeah, it was honestly probably one of the best trips I've ever been on. Obviously winning's a massive part of it, but being in a group where it was particularly new compared to the year before was very exciting, and obviously my first year. But yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah. I was lucky enough to be down there and watch the last couple of days of that tournament, and just the emotion on your face and so many others' faces was just fantastic to see and be a part of. So congratulations on that great result, and obviously a great experience playing. Disappointing that you don't get the opportunity this year, but I'm sure you're hopeful to have another crack at it next year.
Yeah, I'd honestly, even if I got to go away just once, it's something that I've always wanted to do, especially playing indoor at such an early age and coming through and watching the likes of Dion Muir, Ravity, Fitzy, and being able to play with Fitzy now. It's something that I wouldn't say I've dreamt of, but I've had a goal of always making the top level of my sport. So, it's something I was able to tick off last year, and unfortunately, due to circumstances this year, we haven't been able to go away, but hopefully next year we might be able to go away and defend our title. Yeah,
no, that'd be really good. And you mentioned Fitzy there. I know you two have a very unique relationship with each other. Would you care to elaborate on that one at all?
Yeah, it's...
Reminding you this is a PG rated show.
Yeah, I think, I've known Fitzy for a very long time, being around Wynnum, and obviously growing up around the centre, I've sort of gotten to know Fitzy a lot more, and once I came into A grade at Wynnum and then obviously into the open men's side, I've gotten a bit closer with Fitzy. And Fitzy's probably one of the main reasons I made that side, the open men's side in the first place. I did a lot of work with him after I made the first initial squad, and he was quite helpful, and yeah, he's been there a lot of the way to help me take my game to the next level.
And yeah, that's the great thing about Fitzy, mate. He's always willing to help anyone that puts the time and effort in. So it's just a great thing for him to give back to the sport. Talking about giving back to the sport, you've been involved in the coaching of some of the junior Queensland teams in recent years. Would you like to explain what that process is for you, and also as part of that, why you get involved and why you continue to give back to the sport?
I think the main thing was looking at it. I had a lot of people who helped me as I came up through the ranks. So I go back to playing, a lot of junior level, and especially coming to men's and stuff. You've got a lot of guys who are willing to give their time to help a lot of the younger players to learn the game and obviously take their game to the next step. So initially I wasn't making sides after the junior levels and sort of stuff, so I thought I might have a crack at coaching, and was lucky enough to go away to Toowoomba with the under 15s with Andrew Sweet, and actually had a ball going away with the kids. And one of the things is I like to give back to the sport that's given a lot to me growing up and stuff, and it still continues to do now.
Yeah, look, and I think that's great that some of the elite players within the system here in Queensland get that opportunity to be able to help coach and give back to the sport. And people like you should be really commended for your efforts there. What another great episode there. I'd like to thank Brendan Caust and Brenton Brien for helping us out. What a great insight into a mental approach and how to approach batting with Brenton Brien there, giving some great feedback. We've got some really good episodes coming up in the near future, so stay tuned. And remember to like us, share us. We're really loving all these great positive feedback from you guys as well. Thanks everyone.